Patrick Mahomes has just dropped shocking revelations about Stefon Diggs' future, and the team that just picked him up and fans everywhere are stunned. What he revealed could completely change the landscape of the NFL, and it might even signal Diggs' imminent arrival with the Chiefs. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what Mahomes said, what it means for Diggs, and how this could shake up the league. On March 4th, 2026, the New England Patriots informed veteran wide receiver Stefon Diggs that he would be released at the start of the 2026 league year the following week. And just like that, one of the more productive wide receivers in the NFL was back on the open market after a single season in Foxborough. Diggs was officially released on March 11, 2026. Now, this was not a total surprise to people who had been paying attention. When Diggs signed with the Patriots last March, it was on a 3-year, $69 million deal. On the surface, that looks like a commitment, but the structure of the contract made the start of the 2026 season a key checkpoint for the Patriots to be able to make it a 1-year deal, and that is exactly what happened. Diggs' base salary was rising from $2.9 million in 2025 to $20.6 million in 2026, and his salary cap charge was increasing from $10.5 million to $26.5 million. By releasing him, the Patriots freed up $16.8 million in salary cap money. That is cap space they needed, and a number that frankly made Diggs expendable. Let us be clear about something though. Diggs held up his end of the deal on the field. Diggs caught 85 passes for 1,013 yards and 4 touchdowns in 17 regular season games, while serving as an emotionally charged, seasoned veteran leader the young Patriots needed. In his first season with the team, he became the first Patriots receiver to eclipse the 1,000-yard mark since 2019. That is not a small thing. For a team that had been searching for production at the receiver position for years, Diggs delivered, and he did not just show up in the regular season. In the divisional round against his former team, the Houston Texans, Diggs recorded 4 receptions for 40 yards and 1 touchdown in the 28-16 win, advancing to his second AFC Championship game. In the AFC Championship against the Denver Broncos, Diggs recorded 5 receptions for 17 yards in the 10-7 win, advancing to Super Bowl LX, his first Super Bowl appearance. That is what makes this interesting. This is a player who helped the Patriots reach the Super Bowl, although he was largely prevented from making a difference in Super Bowl LX. With 3 catches for 37 yards, it's fair to wonder if the Patriots reached the final game of the 2025 NFL season without him. The Patriots lost 29-13 to the Seattle Seahawks in that game, but they would not have been there at all without what Diggs brought, and his teammates felt the same way. His teammates' positive words regarding him during the week leading up to Super Bowl LX underscored this sentiment, and Coach Mike Vrabel maintained a positive review of the veteran, noting what Diggs was able to do for the team in terms of leadership. So then what happened? The Patriots made the calculation that those increased charges, plus Diggs turning 33 in November, made this the time to move on. Despite him turning in a solid 2025 regular season, Executive Vice President of Player Personnel Elliott Wolf confirmed that the decision came down to multiple factors. Wolf said it was just a variety of factors, adding looking at financials, ability. A lot of things go into this, and we have nothing but respect for Stefon. He was an absolute warrior for us. Diggs himself took to social media to address the situation. He wrote on social media, "Thank you for a hell of a year." Before the release was even official, Diggs appeared to have scrubbed his Instagram account. He saw the writing on the wall. But here's the thing about Diggs. He had said publicly that he wanted to stay. Diggs had said, "Unless they opt out of the contract, I anticipate being here. I hope so. Love my guys. Hell of a year playing with them. We built some real family-like bonds, so I hope so. I don't control it." He did not control it. And the Patriots moved on. Now, this put one of the more experienced receivers in the NFL into the free agent pool. After 11 NFL seasons, the veteran is now searching for his 5th home in the league. At this stage of his career, Diggs is no longer simply a star changing teams. He is entering the part of his career where fit, cost, and timing matter just as much as production. And that brings us to why one particular team keeps coming up. This is where things get interesting. The Kansas City Chiefs have been connected to Stefon Diggs in one way or another for years. And now, with Diggs available as a free agent, the speculation has gone into overdrive. The Kansas City Chiefs have a big question mark on offense, as 2 of their top pass catchers may not return to the team in 2026. Let us break down why. First, there is the Rashee Rice situation. The team faces an uncertain future regarding Rashee Rice, the talented wide receiver who faced a 6-game suspension for off-the-field troubles in 2025 and could face another suspension in the coming season. That is a significant concern for a team trying to contend. Then there was the Travis Kelce question. For weeks, nobody knew if Kelce would return or retire. Tight end Travis Kelce announced that he was not going to retire, instead signing a one-year contract to return to Kansas City. That answered one question, but the receiver situation remained an issue. And there is the elephant in the room, Patrick Mahomes himself. Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes has begun rehab following surgery to repair 2 torn ligaments in his left knee, and the team is optimistic the 2-time MVP could be back early next season. The operation happened about 24 hours after Mahomes tore his ACL and LCL in a loss to the Chargers. The recovery time for such an injury is about 9 months. While Mahomes has expressed confidence that he will recover in time to start the season, the team won't have clarity until he gets closer to the fall. So you have a team with questions at quarterback health, at receiver depth, and at the tight end position. That is the context in which Diggs' name keeps getting attached to Kansas City. One insider believes the Chiefs can find help with another controversial wide receiver. Analyst Mike Moritas of The Sporting News named the Chiefs among the 3 teams that could make a run at veteran wide receiver Stefon Diggs after he was cut loose by the New England Patriots. And the case for the Chiefs signing Diggs is not hard to make from a football standpoint. The Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver room is one of the positions that could use the most love when free agency begins. As it stands, the Chiefs only have 6 wideouts under contract, with the trio of Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, and Jalen Royals being the only names of note. The Chiefs also lost a key receiver this offseason. Patrick Mahomes lost a key piece of his offense when the Philadelphia Eagles signed away one of his receivers. That receiver started 6 games and appeared in 16, finishing with 49 receptions for 587 yards and 5 touchdowns. He also led all Chiefs receivers in receiving yards and first downs with 29. The Kansas City Chiefs must do something to support Patrick Mahomes next year. While Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker will add a much-needed boost to the running game, the defense will probably be considerably worse next year. Trent McDuffie, Brian Cook, and Jalen Watson are all gone. The Chiefs could be in quite a few shootouts next year, and they'll need a free agent like Stefon Diggs for these high-scoring affairs. The offensive production numbers are not where they need to be either. The returning Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy aren't sure bets, with both still having room to develop into consistent game breakers. The Chiefs produced the 21st ranked receiving grade for Patrick Mahomes. 21st. For a quarterback of Mahomes' caliber, that is a problem. Diggs would be a short-term addition, which could fit with Kansas City's plan to jump back into Super Bowl contention in 2026. That is the argument. You sign Diggs for a year or 2 on a team-friendly deal. You pair him with Mahomes, and you make a run at it. And speaking of Mahomes, there is another wrinkle here. The Chiefs also made a move at quarterback insurance. The Jets intend to trade the veteran quarterback Justin Fields to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs reportedly sent the Jets a 2027 6th-round pick for Fields. So if Mahomes is not ready to go in Week 1, the Chiefs have a plan. And having a proven receiver like Diggs in that situation could help a backup quarterback as much as it helps Mahomes when he returns. But here is where the conversation takes a turn, because the connection between Diggs and the Chiefs is not a new thing. It goes back years. This is not the first time Stefon Diggs has been linked to the Chiefs. And this is where the story gets deeper. Back when Diggs was still with the Buffalo Bills, before the 2024 trade to Houston, there were reports about where he wanted to go. And the answer surprised a lot of people. The Buffalo Bills blocked wide receiver Stefon Diggs from seeking a trade to the Kansas City Chiefs before dealing him to the Houston Texans, according to NBC Sports' Chris Sims. Think about that for a second. Diggs wanted to play for the Chiefs. He wanted to catch passes from Patrick Mahomes, and the Bills said no. Sims said on an episode of PFT Live with Mike Florio, "From what I do know, right, is that he was allowed to seek a trade from anybody in the league, except the Kansas City Chiefs. That's what I've been told by multiple people," and it made sense from Buffalo's perspective. The Bills were not going to arm the team that kept ending their season. So instead, the Bills received 2024 second and 6th round picks, as well as a 2025 5th rounder in exchange for Diggs. And he ended up in Houston rather than Kansas City. He would join Nico Collins and Tank Dell to catch passes from CJ Stroud, rather than serving as a target for Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. But Bleacher Report noted something at the time. That doesn't mean Diggs couldn't eventually end up with the Chiefs. As part of the trade, the Texans voided the 3 years remaining on the wide receiver's deal to turn it into a 1-year, $22.52 million contract. That sets Diggs up to become a free agent and could give the Chiefs the chance to pursue him despite their AFC opponents' opposition after the 2024 season. That did not happen after the 2024 season because Diggs signed with the Patriots. But now here we are in 2026 and Diggs is available once again. The pathway that was predicted 2 years ago is open. Now let us talk about Diggs' career journey. because the pattern here matters. Stefon Diggs played for the Vikings from 2015 to 2019, the Bills from 2020 to 2023, the Texans in 2024, and the Patriots in 2025. That is 4 teams in 11 seasons, and the movement has accelerated. His tenures have gotten shorter. 5 years in Minnesota, 4 in Buffalo, 1 in Houston, 1 in New England. In Minnesota, Diggs made a name for himself. Diggs became a full-time starter for the Vikings midway through his rookie year, despite his late-round draft status. He became part of an effective receiving tandem alongside Adam Thielen, with his highlights including catching the Minneapolis Miracle pass during the 2017-18 NFL playoffs. With the Bills, he reached another level. Diggs became the fastest receiver to surpass 100 catches with his new team in his first season with Buffalo. He led all NFL receivers in 2020 with 127 receptions and 1,535 receiving yards. He earned first-team All-Pro that year, and he made the Pro Bowl 4 consecutive seasons in Buffalo. But there was always an edge to Diggs' time in Buffalo. During his tenure with the Buffalo Bills, Diggs displayed visible frustration on the sidelines during playoff games and reportedly missed practices, leading to public comments from coach Sean McDermott expressing concern. His eventual trade from the Bills to the Houston Texans in 2024 was surrounded by media speculation regarding a rumored change in his role in the Bills' offense and a narrative suggesting he was a disruptive presence in the locker room. Houston was supposed to be a fresh start, but on October 27th in Week 8 against the Colts, Diggs suffered a non-contact injury to his knee. It was later revealed to be a torn ACL, ruling him out for the remainder of the season. He finished the 2024 season with 47 receptions for 496 yards and 3 touchdowns. Then came New England. And despite coming off the ACL tear, Diggs tore his ACL on October 27, 2024, playing for the Houston Texans. He was fully cleared for training camp participation on July 22, 2025. He came back and put together a 1,000-yard season. He helped the Patriots reach the Super Bowl, and then they released him. Every time Diggs has changed teams, the Chiefs' name has surfaced. Every time. And now, for the first time in his career, there is nothing stopping Kansas City from pursuing him. No trade block, no long-term contract locking him up elsewhere. Diggs is a free agent, and the Chiefs have a need. A smaller contract by APY could open up a team like Kansas City to sign Diggs. Question marks remain about the Chiefs' receiver room, but the team has minimal spending power. That last part is key. The Chiefs do not have a ton of cap space, so any deal with Diggs would have to be structured in a way that works for both sides. Now here's where we have to pump the brakes and look at what is actually happening versus what is being speculated. Because while there is a case for Diggs to the Chiefs, there are some complications that cannot be ignored. The first and most significant is the legal situation. Diggs is facing felony strangulation and other criminal charges stemming from an alleged dispute with his personal chef. Diggs has pleaded not guilty to the charges. He is next scheduled to appear for a pretrial hearing April 1st. The details of the allegations are serious. A police report from the Dedham Police Department details an incident on December 12, 2025 that resulted in charges being brought against Diggs by a woman who said she worked as his personal chef. Diggs is charged with felony strangulation or suffocation and misdemeanor assault and battery stemming from an incident on December 2nd. Diggs has denied the allegations. His attorney has been firm in the defense. His attorney said, Stefon Diggs categorically denies these allegations. They are unsubstantiated, uncorroborated, and were never investigated because they did not occur. The timing and motivation for making the allegations is crystal clear. They are the direct result of an employee-employer financial dispute that was not resolved to the employee's satisfaction. Stefon looks forward to establishing the truth in a court of law. The arraignment was originally scheduled for January 23rd but was postponed so Diggs could play in Super Bowl LX. Diggs on Friday pleaded not guilty to felony strangulation and other criminal charges. The judge released Diggs on personal recognizance and ordered him to have no contact with the alleged victim. A pretrial hearing was scheduled for April 1st. This matters for any team considering signing Diggs. That's also a part of the equation with a player who has burned bridges in almost every previous stop. The Chiefs have more than enough on their plate with everything surrounding Rice. The Chiefs already have one receiver with off-field issues. Do they want another? That's without even bringing up the legal issues that Worthy faced last year. If the Chiefs are going to roll the dice on a wide receiver with a knack for tabloids, they might as well focus on the duo they already have, or at least entertain a reunion with Tyreek Hill. And speaking of Hill, there is another wrinkle in this conversation. Hill is 32, coming off a serious knee injury, and has had the worst 2-year stretch of his career. But if his medicals check out, a reunion with the Chiefs makes sense. Quarterback Patrick Mahomes, recovering from a torn ACL of his own, needs more help at receiver. Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy, who's returning as Kansas City's offensive coordinator after 3 years away, know how to use Hill. So Diggs is not even the only name the Chiefs are looking at. There are multiple options on the table. Then there is the personal life situation. During the NFL season, Cardi B was Stefon Diggs' biggest cheerleader, as the couple was still basking in the glow of becoming parents to their infant son back in September 2025. Cardi appeared at multiple NFL games to support him during the season, but the day after the Super Bowl, people confirmed that Diggs and Cardi unfollowed each other on Instagram. Cardi confirmed the split when she addressed it for the first time on February 15th. Now, the personal relationship stuff is his business. But the combination of the breakup, the legal charges, and the release from the Patriots all happening within weeks of each other paints a picture of a lot of turbulence. And NFL teams take that into account. Let us also talk about what happened between Diggs and the Patriots. Because despite the public statements being cordial, there were some tensions behind the scenes. The Patriots went from saying, "We support Stefon" during the season when the charges surfaced, to releasing him weeks after the Super Bowl. Diggs, who will turn 33 in November, appeared to be a possible cut candidate because of his contract situation, age, and off-field behavior. That phrase, off-field behavior, says a lot. The Patriots factored in what was happening off the field when they made their decision. His high salary was likely a factor in the Patriots parting ways with Diggs, as he carried a $26.5 million cap hit into 2026. Additionally, the NFL star has also been in the middle of constant legal drama during his short tenure on the team, which likely made the decision to release him easier. Coach Mike Vrabel and executive Elliott Wolf were both non-committal about Diggs' future at the Combine. At the annual NFL Scouting Combine last week, Executive Vice President of Player Personnel Elliott Wolf and Coach Mike Vrabel remained non-committal when asked about Diggs' future with the Patriots. That is a clear signal. When your team is not willing to publicly commit to you, the writing is on the wall. But here is what is interesting. Even after releasing Diggs, the Patriots have not completely shut the door. New England has not ruled out re-signing Diggs for the upcoming NFL season, as said by Patriots Executive Vice President of Player Personnel Elliott Wolf. Wolf said, "I wouldn't say the door is closed. That is an unusual thing to say about a player you just released. It suggests that the Patriots believe Diggs can still play, and if the price is right, they would consider bringing him back." The Patriots signed wide receiver Romeo Doubs to a 4-year, $68 million contract in free agency. That will not stop the team from continuing to look for upgrades at the wide receiver position. While they have been heavily linked to Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown in trade speculation, the team isn't completely ruling out a reunion with Diggs down the line. So where does that leave the Chiefs? They are in the mix. Multiple reporters and analysts have named them as a potential destination, but there are real obstacles: cap space, character concerns, and competition from other teams. So let us bring this all together. Patrick Mahomes has not officially announced a Stefon Diggs trade to the Chiefs. That is the reality of the situation as it stands right now. What we have is a free agent wide receiver who has been linked to the Chiefs by multiple analysts and insiders, a historical desire by Diggs to play in Kansas City, and a Chiefs roster that could use his production. Let us look at what we actually know. The New England Patriots released wide receiver Stefon Diggs ahead of the 2026 league year, and the 11-year veteran is still a free agent. As of right now, Diggs has not signed with anyone. He is still on the open market. The Chiefs have been named as a potential landing spot by multiple outlets. The New England Patriots released 4-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Stefon Diggs. The Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens, and Denver Broncos have all been named as potential destinations by Stadium Rant. The Sporting News named the Chiefs among the teams that could make a run at Diggs. Heavy Sports reported that the Chiefs could be a top contender to sign Diggs. Last Word on Sports listed the Chiefs in their top 3 landing spots. But let us look at the competition. There are other possible landing spots. Washington makes sense for several reasons, starting with the fact that the Commanders have 5 wideouts slated to become free agents. In Washington, Diggs would help open things up for Terry McLaurin and Luke McCaffrey, while giving Jaden Daniels another proven receiver. From a financial standpoint, the Commanders have more than enough cap space. It's no secret Baltimore hasn't done a great job getting Lamar Jackson help at receiver. While he's no longer an elite player, Diggs would be an upgrade over what the Ravens currently project to have. There are also potential reunions. Tennessee doesn't make much sense if Diggs wants to play for a team with serious Super Bowl aspirations in 2026. It does make sense, however, from a personal standpoint, as Diggs would get a chance to reunite with new Titans offensive coordinator Brian Daboll with whom he had significant success during their years together in Buffalo. And then there is the Fox Sports take. The Jets need a WR2 alongside Garrett Wilson, and staying in the AFC East would allow Diggs to play the Patriots and Bills, two of his former teams, twice a year. A four-time Pro Bowler, Diggs went over 1,000 receiving yards in his lone season in New England. The financial picture matters too. Diggs could see a salary decline due to guaranteed money remaining from his New England agreement. The closest comparison within this year's free agency class is Mike Evans. The former Buccaneer signed a 3-year agreement with the 49ers at just over $14 APY. Diggs' New England APY came in at just over $21 million. Accordingly, it's reasonable to expect a decrease in money. Diggs would be a short-term addition, which could fit with Kansas City's plan to jump back into Super Bowl contention in 2026. At 32, however, it could be more difficult for Diggs to find a team readily willing to sign him to a long-term contract, and he may wind up playing next season on a short-term deal. Now, what about the Mahomes factor? The reality is that Patrick Mahomes, recovering from a torn ACL of his own, needs more help at receiver. That is a fact, and it's unlikely that Mahomes would get back faster than Diggs did from his ACL, especially given the way the team is likely to be extra careful. Even if he gets back that fast, it makes week 1 of 2026 feel like quite the long shot. So even if the Chiefs did sign Diggs, there is no guarantee Mahomes is the one throwing him passes at the start of the season. That is why the Justin Fields trade matters. The Jets traded Justin Fields to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs reportedly sent the Jets a 2027 6th-round pick for Fields. Fields gives the Chiefs a quarterback who can start while Mahomes recovers, and having a receiver like Diggs could stabilize the offense during that transition. The Chiefs have also been active in other areas of roster building. Travis Kelce made his return to the Chiefs for 2026, while Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker III signed a deal to join Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs made a splash play by trading All-Pro cornerback Trent McDuffie to the Los Angeles Rams in exchange for the 29th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, as well as a 5th and 6th and 2027 third-round pick. After the Trent McDuffie trade, General Manager Brett Veach will have 9 draft picks to try to find some help for Patrick Mahomes. So the Chiefs have options. They can draft a receiver, they can sign Diggs, they can pursue a Tyreek Hill reunion, they can make a trade. The point is, the need is real, and Diggs is one of several players who could fill it. But let us circle back to the core question. Has Patrick Mahomes officially announced a Stefon Diggs trade to the Chiefs? No, this has not happened. What has happened is that Diggs was released by the Patriots. The Chiefs have been identified as a logical landing spot by many analysts and reporters, and there is a years-long history of Diggs wanting to play in Kansas City. The pieces are there, the need is there. The desire, at least on Diggs' side, has historically been there. But as of today, assuming his legal troubles don't keep him off the field, Stefon Diggs should draw some interest in the coming months. There aren't enough good wide receivers to go around, and Diggs can still get open and help an offense stay ahead of the chains. Whether that offense ends up being the Chiefs remains to be seen. The NFL offseason is long. Free agency moves do not always happen when we think they will. And Diggs has a legal situation that any team will want to monitor before committing resources. The pretrial hearing on April 1st could provide some clarity. What we do know is this. Stefon Diggs is one of the most accomplished receivers of his generation. He has produced at an elite level for over a decade. He has wanted to play for the Chiefs before, and Kansas City has rarely needed a receiver more than they do right now. If the timing, the price, and the legal picture all align, this is a move that could happen. And if it does, it would be one of the more notable signings of the entire 2026 offseason. But until pen meets paper, it remains speculation. Informed speculation from credible sources, but speculation nonetheless. And that is where this story stands today. Keep your eyes on this one, because the connection between Stefon Diggs and the Kansas City Chiefs is not going away anytime soon.